Hello guys, I'm so happy to see you again on my channel. I thank God I'm good. Okay guys, in today's video I'm gonna be presenting to you the application that we're gonna build for this tutorial series, and the application that we're gonna build is this one. So once we click on the application, this loading Lottie animation will be displayed, and once the data is actually ready coming from the server, these posts will be actually displayed on our application, as you can see here. And in this application we're going to be able to modify, delete, display, and removing a post, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a CRUD operation of these posts here. And so the first thing that we're going to do, as you can see here, is the list of posts. So the user will be able to see all the posts that are available, and once he clicks on one post, a detailed page will be displayed where he can actually see all the details according to that post. Okay, so right now if he wants, he can modify this post. So all he has to do is to click on this edit button down below, and once he click there, this detailed page of this post will be displayed where he can actually modify the post. So let me try to write something here, just there. I'm gonna write 555. Let me update the post, and once the post is updated, yeah, as you can see here, the post is actually updated successfully. Okay, and the list is automatically rebuild the UI according to how the data are changing. Okay, you don't have to refresh the list or that kind of stuff. It's gonna rebuild by itself. Okay, after that the user will be able to remove a post from the list. So let me remove these posts that we just modified. So all we have to do is to click on this delete button down below, and once we click there, a dialog will be displayed saying, do you really want to delete this post? So if the user say no, the post will not be removed, but instead if he say yes, as you can see, we have this loading animation and the post is removed from our application. Okay, it works successfully, there is no problem there. So here, beside that, the user can also create a post. So all we have to do is to come here on this add button right here, just there, and once the user click there, this page will be displayed saying we have the space for the title and the space for the body. So let me write here something like YouTube tutorials, and here for the body we're gonna say hello world. Okay, so let me save, and as you see, our post is actually created. As you can see here, we have the post. So once we click there, we have the details of this post. Yeah, we have this YouTube tutorial title and the body, that is hello world. So we have created, modified, and removed. So the last thing that we're gonna do for this application will be actually the search functionality. So all we have to do is to come here on this icon here, we're gonna click there, and this interface will be displayed where the user can actually search for something. So we're gonna write here the title. So let's write YouTube. Yeah, we have our YouTube tutorial. And so let me write something else like this. So let me search for this third post, which is $AUM Magni, something like that. So let me write $RAM. Okay, yeah, we have it. So everything works as you can see right here. And once we look for something like $run, and once we click there, so if we click on this icon, it's gonna display this interface of the details as you can see right there. So everything works. It works very well. Okay guys, this is the application that we're gonna build for this tutorial series. It's gonna be a little bit long because I'm going to be making it by, you know, one video. It's gonna be a series of videos. So with that, I think it's not gonna be overwhelming over time. Okay guys, this is the application that we're gonna build for this tutorial series. We have this beautiful UI, this beautiful design in Flutter, and beside that we have also this communication between the application and the server. And you know, we are handling many stuff here in this application, stuff like state management using block, and you know, for making API requests, stuff like getting, you know, the gets, the posts, the deletes, the puts requests, all of that. We are using DIO, which is a best tool for making those API requests. You know, this tutorial is going to be so great. So if you have friends or family who would like to access to contents like this, you know, stuff like Flutter, beautiful design in Flutter, state management, stuff like DIO, communicating with the server, you know, state management, a very good state management, you know, you can just take this video and share this video with them. You know, it's gonna be very good for both you and me. You know, it's gonna be very good. You know guys, I'm really excited about making this tutorial series. I know it's gonna be great, so feel free to like and subscribe to our channel so you're not gonna miss any other video, any future video like these. So I hope I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Okay guys, thanks for coming back. So in today's video we're gonna start with the UI. So this is the first part that we're gonna start with for our UI. We're gonna build these three icons here, as you can see, and also we're gonna display these texts just below here. So this is the parts that we're gonna start with today's video. So let's open our main file here, as you can see, and here in this file we're gonna import first material darts. After that we're gonna need also the Flutter services, yeah, like that. Here we're gonna have this main function, run up. This will be our first widget. Here we can create it. Just like that. And after that we're gonna return our material app. We're gonna need a theme. Theme data. And here inside of this we're gonna first our highlights color will be a black one, and we're gonna use material 3. Here for the font family we're gonna use Poppins as usual. So don't forget to go back here inside your asset folders, and here for the fonts, as you can see here, you can add first your fonts here in this folder and then come here in the YAML file, and here you can just add the path of your fonts just like this, and everything will work. So right now we're gonna use our service, this Flutter services package, by doing just like this, because we want to change stuff like, you know, status bar color, status bar brightness, status bar icon brightness, you know, these icons right here. So the first thing that we're gonna do will be system chrome dot just like that, and here we're gonna need something like system UI overlay style. Yeah, let's define the status bar color. Let's make it just transparent. Sorry, transparent. Brightness, let's make it, because we are using the white color, let's make it dark for the brightness. This one will be light, and for the icons, yeah, the icons now will be dark. After that, we're gonna change also the system navigation bar color. So let's make it colors gray, shade 100. Yeah, and here the last one will be now the system navigation bar, navigation bar. Yeah, like that, and the brightness will be dark. Okay, after that we're gonna add another line here in the material saying show text mode banner. I'm gonna make it false, and after that for the home we're gonna, so this is the UI that we're gonna build. It's gonna be called posts view. I think it's gonna be const. Yeah. Okay guys, before going any further, we're gonna work on the structure of our application. So here we're gonna create a folder for the business logic. So let's say business logic. We're gonna need another one called presentation, and the last one is data. So here in the business logic we're gonna have two more folders. The first one will be qubits. Let me correct that, it's not qubits but qubits. Yeah, and the other one will be blocks. After that, here in the data we're gonna have providers, repositories, yeah, models, and the last one services. Okay, so after that, here in the presentation we're gonna have all the UI, all the folders of the interfaces or the UI that we're gonna need for our application. So guys, as you know, we are working on this post view interface, so let's create a folder for that. Here in the presentation we're gonna create a folder called posts view, and here we're gonna have a file called, so let me correct this first, it's not gonna be post view but it's just posts, and here we're gonna have a file called posts view.dart. Okay, in this file we're gonna import first the material package, and after that we're gonna need a stateless widget, so we're gonna call it post view, and after that we're gonna return a container first. This container will have a color, let's make it white, and after that we're gonna need a child. This child will be a safe area because we just want to work in the safe area of the screen of our device. So after that we're gonna need a scaffold now, just like that. Let's add semicolon there. We're gonna remove these consts, and the body of our application will be a custom scroll view. This custom scroll view receive a children of slivers, yeah, like that. Okay, let me save this and then come here in the main file, and let me just import this. I've already run the application, so I'm gonna just restart it. I think it works, so let me just come here and try to display something by writing sliver to box adapter child. Let me save and see. Yeah, it works. Now I'm gonna work on this part right here. As you can see, this text is coming just after this one, so they are displayed inside a column widget. So let's do that. Okay, first let's get rid of this, and here we're gonna have a column. This column will have children. Here the cross-axis elements will be start, and after that I think we're gonna need some padding all around this column, so we're gonna say only left 20, right 20, bottom we're gonna say 40, and on top we're just gonna say 10, something like that. Okay guys, now we can just save this. Let's save it. Okay, and here inside of our column we're gonna have two items. The first one will be a row, the second one will be a text. So for this row it's gonna have children, so the main axis size will be, let's make it max because we want it to take the whole screen by default. And after that we want the main axis elements to be at the very end, just like this, because we have these three items inside of this row and all of them are displayed at the very end of the row. Yeah, this is why we use this line here, the main axis elements dot end. Okay, after that we're gonna add our first item of the row. It's gonna be an icon button, just like that. And after that here we're gonna have our icon, actually it's gonna be add, just like that. To fix this issue here, we're just gonna come up here on our safe area and remove these consts and save again, just like that, and everything is good again. So for our icon we're gonna change the color, and the color for our icon will be actually amber 800. Let's remove these const, just like that. So after that, we're gonna need another item. This will be also an icon button, so we're just gonna copy paste that, and here we're just gonna change the icon. That will be search. Let's save. Okay, it's good. Here we're just gonna add some space. Let's make it 10. Yeah, like that. So the last item of this row will be actually a cycle avatar, and the radius for this will be 22. Background color, let's make it amber 100. And here for the child, we're just gonna use an icon's face. Sorry, just like that. Let me save and see. Yeah, but we're just gonna change this color. Let's make it gray. Yeah, it's okay. So now we're gonna display the text, and we're just gonna come down here and first add some space between these two widgets. Height will be 40. And here we're gonna have a text saying my posts, like that maybe. And here the style will be, we're gonna make it bold, just like that. And the font size will be, let's say 40. Let me save and see. Yeah, like that. It's great and it's so beautiful. I don't know if you have noticed that, but the background of our application is not really white. So we're gonna change that by coming back here in the main file, and here we're just gonna write scaffold background colors. Let's make it white. After that, let's restart the application, and yeah, it works. Now our application is white. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video till the end. I really appreciate. This will be all for today, but tomorrow we're gonna work on this part right here where we display the list of the items that will be coming from the server. You know, all the posts will be displayed here, so we're gonna work on this item here in this list. And after that, we're gonna also display or work on this part where we display this scroll bar. Yeah, we're gonna add this also to our application. And so these two functionalities, these two part of the UI, we're gonna be implementing them tomorrow. So guys, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel so you're not gonna miss any future video of this tutorial series. You know guys, this is going to be really interesting as we are going forward. So I hope I see you in the next one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, we're gonna work on this part right here. We're gonna display these posts in lists, and after that we're gonna also work on this scroll bar right here. Okay, let's do that. First, we're gonna need a sliver padding, because we're gonna need some padding all around our list. Let's say only left, right. The same thing. In the bottom, we're gonna say 100, just like that. And here below, our sliver will be actually a sliver list builder. Here we're gonna need some item counts. Let's say 10. and here our item builder. Let's remove these consts. Okay, and here we're gonna create it. It's gonna return material widgets. This material widget will have a color. Let's make it amber 100. The border radius will be circular 30, like that. Let's save. Okay, nothing. It's good. It's gonna have a child. Let's give it a column. Excuse me. Column. This column will have children. So the first item, let's write just data and see. Yeah, like that. Right here we're gonna need some space between the widgets, so let's wrap our material package, our material app, excuse me, by padding, and here we're gonna say only bottom 10. Yeah, like that. Okay, for this column we're gonna say we're gonna say cross. It's gonna be starts, the cross axis alignment. Okay, it's good. And here we're gonna say max line for these text. It's gonna be 2. The overflow, text overflow, ellipses. Let's save. Yeah, now we can change this text. Let's write something like YouTube tutorials. Let me save and see. Yeah, it's good. So now we can add some style to this text, and to do that we're gonna use the text style for the text. The height, let's make it 1.2. The font size, let's make it bold. Font weight bold, yes, and the font size will be 40. Let's save and see. Yeah, it's great. So after that we're gonna need some padding all around the content of these material widgets, and the way we're gonna do that is by wrapping this column here by a padding, and we're gonna say all will be 20. Yeah, we save and it's okay. So it's great, but this text is not so great. Let me say just tutorial. Yeah, like that. Okay, now we're gonna add the body of our post item, and the way we're gonna do that is very simple. All we have to do is to create another text widget down here, and so let's just copy paste some text. We're gonna put it down here. Let me paste. I'm gonna save and see. Yeah, it's good. And after that we're gonna change the style of this text. So let's say text style, font size, let's make it 16, and the color, let's make it like 26. Let's save and see. Yeah, it's so great. So let's try to scroll and see. Yeah, it works and it's so beautiful. As you can see here, our interface doesn't have a scroll bar here in the right side of the screen, so we're gonna fix that by coming up here. We're gonna wrap our custom scroll view by another widget called scroll bar, just like that. This scroll bar can have a radius, and we're gonna say radius dot circular. I'm gonna say 30. Let 7 see. Yeah, it works. Now we have our scroll bar displayed on our screen, but it's gonna display only when the user is scrolling. But if you want this scroll bar to stay on the screen, you can say just thumb visibility and make it true. If you save, it's gonna stay on the screen. So whenever the user scroll, he can see it, and if he doesn't scroll, it's gonna stay on the screen. But let's remove it just like that. Okay, it's good. So guys, before we finish this video, I'm gonna add some space between these two widgets here because I forgot to do that in the previous video. So we're gonna look, okay, it's here. We're just gonna copy this widget and paste it just there. Yeah, like that. We're good. Hey guys, I'm so happy to see you again. In today's video, we're gonna be creating this UI here, and as you can see, we're gonna have this icon, the close button here. So whenever the user wanna close this UI, all he has to do is to click on this button, and after that we're gonna have two text form fields widgets. So here they are. The first one will be for the title and the second one for the body of the post. And here just below we're gonna have this save post button, and that's it. So this UI is the same UI that we're gonna use for both modification and creation of the post. So let's code. Okay, first we're gonna open our post view widget, and inside of this post view widget we're gonna find where this icon here, and we're gonna write something like navigator of the push the page routes. Okay, and here it's gonna be a const edit posts view. So all we have to do now is to create these widgets. We're gonna open our presentation folder, and here in the post folder we're gonna add another file called edit post view dot oops, like that. Here we're gonna import the material package. After that, let's create a stateless widget, and then I'm just gonna paste the name of our interface. And so let me go back to our post view. All I have to do now is to import this widget in order to fix that issue, and we're good. Now if I click on this icon here, yeah, our edit post view is actually opened. Now we can start building the UI for this edit post view. So here we're gonna return first a container. This container will have a color. This color, let's make it white, and after that we're gonna have a child. This child will be a safe area as usual, and this safe area will have a child of a scaffold widget, like that. Let me save. Yeah, it's white. This scaffold widget will have a background color. Let's make it white. It's gonna also have an up bar, like that. Now we can remove these consts, and here inside of our up bar we're gonna also need a color, so a background color. let's make it white as well, and the leading of these are bar and icon button, and here let's add an icon, sorry, and here let's say close. Let's change the color to amber. On praise, let's make it just like that for now, and okay, it's good. But this amber, let's increase it to 80. Now we can remove these cons. Let's 70. Yeah, like that. And here we want this interface to be closed whenever the user click on this icon here. So let's say navigator, oh, context, pop. So let's save. Now we can try. Yeah, like that. Whenever we click here, okay, this interface is opened again. So guys, since we are done with the upper of this widget, we're gonna now start building the body. And so we're gonna say body, it's gonna be a column, it's gonna have children, and here inside of this column we're gonna need two areas. So the first one will be the area for the text form field widgets, just there, and the second one will be for the save posts button. So let's start with the first one, which is the text form field widgets area. First, we're gonna need an expanded widget. First, we're gonna need an expanded widget. This one will have a single child scroll view widgets, and the child will be a column like that. And here, this single child scroll view will have a padding, an horizontal padding, symmetric 20, like that. Let's save. Yeah, it's good. And here for the children, we're gonna actually create the two text form field widgets that we're gonna need. Okay, let's say text form field. Let's remove these consts. After that, we're gonna need a cursor color. Let's make it amber, and the style will be changed also because we want to be able to change the font size. So let's make it 40 in order to make it bigger. And after that, we're gonna need some decoration for these text form field widgets. Put decoration. Let's make it collapsed. The hint text will be title. Let's 70. Yeah, like that. After that, we're gonna need a divider between both text form field widgets. Let's 70. Yeah, like that. And after that, we're gonna need another field for the body. So let's say text form fields. We're gonna change first the cursor color. It's gonna be amber. After that, let's say max lines 100, because the user is going to write too many phrases in the body. And here the main line, let's say only one. The decoration, input decoration, collapse as well, but here it's going to be body for the hint texts. Let's 70. Yeah, it's great. So if we try to write something there, yeah, it's good. And for the title, it works. Okay guys, the last thing that we're gonna do for this interface will be actually the creation of the save post button. And the way we're gonna do that is by creating first a folder here in the presentation folder, a folder called shared widgets, and inside of here I'm gonna create a file called custom button widgets dot. So that's it. Inside of this file we're gonna import first the material package. After that we're gonna define a stateless widget called custom button widgets, and here in the build function we're gonna return a sized box just like that. These widgets will have a height, let's give it 60, and the width will be double max finite, and after that it's gonna have a child. This child will be an elevated button. So our button will have a callback function. Let's pass it here for a callback. We're gonna call it on tap. It's not gonna be required, so the user will not be, it's not gonna be mandatory for the user to pass it to these widgets. And here on praise we can just say on tap like that. And here the child will be first a text. Let's write save post. We can save this, and after that we're gonna grab these widgets inside of our edit posts widgets just there. Let's import it like that. Let's 70. Yeah, so let's open our custom button widget file, and here we're gonna bring some modification. Let's say style, button style. Here by default the radius of the button is 30, but in our case we want the radius to be only 10. Let's say shape material state property, or this one. I'm gonna say rounded rectangular border radius, this one, and the border radius will be, let's say, only 10. Let's 70. Yeah, it works. Okay, now let's change the background color of our button. So it's gonna be background color material state property all. I'm gonna say colors amber, let's say 800, just like that. Let's 70. Yeah, it works. After that we're gonna change the elevation. It's gonna be also material states property all. Let's make it 0, no elevation, like that. But here we're gonna need some style, so let's say style, text style, the font weight, the font size first, let's make it 20, the color is gonna be black, and the font weight, font weight, we're gonna make it bold, like this. Yeah, it's so beautiful. As you can see here, our button is so beautiful, but I think we're gonna need some space all around it so it can be more beautiful. And the way we're gonna do that is by coming back here in the edit post view and add a padding widget to our custom button. So let's say wrap with padding, and we're gonna say padding all 20. Let's 70, and it's great. It's so beautiful. With this interface, the user will be actually able to add a title just there, to write something, and so for the title, something will go there. Let's say some title, and here for the body, some body, and then save the posts, and everything will be okay. So this interface is actually done. Okay guys, thanks for watching. So in the next tutorial, we're gonna be working on this UI here, where the user will have this space where he can write something, this field, he can write something, and here at the bottom, we're gonna be displaying to him a list of the results that are being displayed according to what he is typing here in this field. So this is the next UI that we're gonna build. Hello guys, thanks for coming back. So today we're gonna be creating the search view for our application, and the first thing that we're gonna do for this will be actually to come here inside the post folder and create a file called search posts view.dart. And after doing that, let's import first the material package. And after that, we're gonna create here a stateless widget called search posts view, like that. Here let's return something. I'm gonna say scaffold, and for the body, let's give it something. Let's put it in the center. I'm gonna say sorry, searching. We want this search view to be displayed whenever the user clicks on this search icon here, and the way we're gonna do that is by coming back here inside of this posts view and look for just here where we have our icon, this search icon. So here we're gonna have a navigator of contexts, push, so here we're gonna build the search UI. Let's say consts search post view, like that. Let's save and see. So here when we click on this icon, yeah, we're good. So now we can start building our search UI, and the first thing that we're gonna need will be actually container. This container will have a color, it's gonna be white, like that, and it's gonna have a child. This child will be a safe area. Okay, this child will be scaffold, like that, and here we're gonna have a body. This body will be a column. Let's say column, and the first item here will be a size box, so we can have some space before adding any other widgets inside of this column. Let's save like this. Yeah, the second item inside of this column will be actually a row. Let's say row, and it's gonna have children of many other widgets, and the first widget will be actually an icon button. Let's say here and pressed, like that, icon. Let's choose a row back, like that. So here we don't need this const anymore, so let's change the color of this icon. We're gonna make it Amber 800, like that. The second widget of this row will be actually a text form field widgets. So let's add it, text form field widgets, just like that. But before going any further, we're gonna wrap our field by an expanded widgets. You need to make sure you wrap your text form field widgets by an expanded one if you're trying to use these fields, these text form fields widget inside a row or a widget. So if you don't do it like this, you are going to get big error, big issues. So to fix that, all you have to do is to wrap your text form field widget by an expanded widget. Okay, let's add some padding to the right of our text form field. Let's say only right, we're gonna say 20. Let's add decoration to our text form fields. Input decoration, and the first one is in text, like that. Let's write search post, like that. Let's save and see. Yeah, it works. Add a prefix icon to our text form field widgets, just like this. Prefix icons. Let's pick the search one, and the color will be colors amber 800. I think we have these costs. Let's remove it. Yeah, like that. But to make it more beautiful, we're gonna change its color. So let's say field true, field color. Let's say amber 100, like that. Let's 70. Yeah, it's good. Now let's customize the border of our text form field widgets. So the way we're gonna do that is actually simple. We're just gonna come down here and create a reusable component that we're gonna call builds outline input border, like this. So here we're gonna return an outline input border, like this, and here we're gonna have a border radius of circular, let's say 10, like this. For the border side, like this. We're gonna change the color. Let's make it gray. For the width, let's say 0.1. We can change also the gap padding, and we're gonna say gap padding just 10. Now let's go back to the text field and use these reusable widgets. And here we're gonna say focus enabled border. Whenever this text field is focused, we want this builds outline input border to be used, and we're gonna do the same thing for enabled border builds outline. So if you try to write something like this, it's amazing. Okay guys, now we're gonna be creating the list view where we're gonna be displaying the results of the searching, and for that we're gonna need a list view. But first, before using a list view, since you're trying to use a list view inside a row or a column widgets, you're gonna need to wrap your list view builder by an expanded widget, because if you don't do this, you're going to get an error saying something like unbound height and width. Because anytime you are trying to use a list view builder, it's mandatory to define the height and the width where this list view builder will be actually displayed. So this is the reason why if you don't define the height and the width, you can just use an expanded widget and it's gonna take up all the rest of the space, and you will not get any issue. So make sure you don't forget that. Now let's add some space here first. Height, let's say 10, and here below we're gonna use our expanded widgets. Now we can say list view builder, like that. Item count, let's say first 5, and here we're gonna return our components. So let's say build search widgets. Now let's create these widgets here, just below here, and we're gonna return a container. This container will have a decoration, let's say box decoration, and the color will be, let's say first, not the color but the border. Let's change the border, let's say border all width, let's say 0.5, and the color will be, let's say gray for now. And here inside this container, let's return some texts. Thing, let's say just search result, let's 70. Yeah, like that. Now let's format our code and bring some modification to this component here. And here we're gonna change something. It's not gonna be border all, but like that. And let's remove this and say bottom border side, like that. Yeah, we want this border to be only at the bottom of this container, just like this. And after that, we're gonna add some padding to our text so it can get a little bigger. Let's say symmetric, vertical 10. Yeah, like that. And after that, I think we're gonna need some horizontal padding of, yeah, I think we're gonna change something here. Right here we're gonna need some margin, horizontal 10. Yeah, like that. It's more beautiful. Let's change here to 50 to try to do something. Let me scroll. Yeah, it works. It's so beautiful. But after this, we're gonna need some, the scroll bar widgets to our list view builder. So let's do this. Here we're gonna wrap it by a widget called scroll bar, like that. Let's change the border radius. Circular 30. Let's save. And if we try to scroll, yeah. Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here again. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm here now. Okay, today we're going to be creating this part of the application where the user is going to be able to click on a post and see the details of this one. So here at the top, we're going to have this bar, and in this bar, we're going to have a leading icon, excuse me. And here we're going to have the first character of the title of the post, and this one here is the title of the post actually. But here below at the center of the screen, we're going to have the body of the post, And here below we're gonna have two buttons. So the first one, if the user clicks on it, is going to be able to modify, to update these posts. And if the user clicks on the second one, he's going to see this pop-up here saying if the user really want to delete this post, and if he says yes, the post will be actually deleted. Let's create a file for this interface, and we're gonna call it post details view. Dots, just like that. First, let's import the material package, and here we're gonna have a stateless widget. We're gonna call it post details view, like that. Here we're gonna return first a container. Let's give it a color. It's gonna be white. The child for this one will be a safe area, and the child for the safe area will be actually a scaffold widget, just like that. And here we're gonna have a body, but let's say for now just text. Let's save it. So now let's navigate to this interface, and for that we're gonna open the post view interface, and here to the post item we're gonna add another widget called gesture detector, and here we're gonna have a callback function on top. Let's say navigator dot of push material page routes. Here let's say posts details view. Here we're gonna need a context variable, like that. Let's add it. We can save. And now if we try to click on one of these posts here, yeah, the post details view is displayed. Okay, let's now remove this body and start building all the stuff that we need for this interface. The first widget here will be actually an bar, but we're not going to use the default bar Flutter. We're going to create that from scratch. Let's say preferred size, this one, and here we're gonna say size from height only 60. We're gonna have a child. It's gonna be a container. So here we don't need this const anymore. Let's remove it. Let's say let's 7C. Yeah, okay. Let's add some padding in our container. It's gonna be symmetric, horizontal, let's say 20, and vertical, let's say just 10, like that. Since we want to display the widgets horizontally, we're gonna need a row for that. So let's say row children. In this row we're gonna have another row, this one, children, and the first item will be actually an icon. Let's say arrow back. The color will be amber 500. Yeah, that's it. After that we're gonna need a cycle avatar. So let's give it a color, background color, amber only 100, and the radius let's say 20. Yeah, like that. Inside of this cycle avatar we're gonna have a text. This is the one that will be the child of the cycle avatar. Let's say just A. Yeah, it's good. Let's add the title of the app bar. So it's going to be displayed just after this item here. You're gonna need some space between them with, let's say, only 5, like that. And here we're gonna need a text. Let me paste that text there. Let's 70. Yeah, let's change the font size of these texts. So text style, font size, let's say only 12. Let's save. Yeah, it's good. But here we're gonna say also, these texts can be long sometime, so we're gonna limit it to 2 lines. And the overflow, let's make it ellipses, something like that. Let's try to make this text bigger so you can see the result. Yeah, as you can see here, we have this overflow issue, and to fix that, all we have to do is to come here and wrap our text by an expanded widget. Let's say expanded, let's 70. Yeah, it works. And as you can see here, our title is so big, and we have more than 2 lines. So this is the reason why we have here at the end of the title these ellipses. Since the above this interface is actually created, we can now build the body of this interface actually, and it's gonna be very simple, don't worry. So the body of this interface will be actually divided in 2 sections actually. So let's say body, and for this we're gonna have a column. This column will have children. So the first section will be actually the section for the body of the post actually. Let's say body, let's say posts body section. And the second section will be actually the section of the 2 buttons for editing and deleting the posts. So let's say here buttons section, just like that. For this post body section, we're gonna need an expanded widget because you're going to use a single chart score view, inside a column. So don't forget that every time you're trying to use a single chart score view inside a column, you're gonna need to put it or to wrap it by an expanded widget. So if you don't do that, it's not gonna work. So this single chart score view will have a padding, let's say all 20, like that. Let's save. Inside of the single chart score view, we're gonna have now the body of our post actually. So let's say child texts. Let's paste something there. Too much text. Let's 70. Yeah, it's good, but we're gonna change the style of this text. We're gonna increase the font size. Let's say font size 20. Yeah, it's good. Okay guys, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna stop here for now. But in the following one, we're gonna work on this part where we're gonna have these 2 buttons here. The first one for editing the post and the second one for deleting. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and if you like the video, please don't forget to like it. And if you want to see many other content like this in the future, consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any question about this tutorial, please leave a comment down below and I'm gonna be back to you. So I hope I see you in the next one. Peace. Hello guys, thanks for coming back. Today we're gonna be working on this part here. We're gonna have these 2 buttons here below. The first one for editing the post and the second one for deleting the actual post. Okay, first we're gonna create a widget for that, and we're gonna call it builds bottom area. It's gonna be a widget. Okay, let's create these widgets now. We're gonna open this shared widgets folder, and here we're gonna create a file for that. Build bottom area dot, just like that. Now here we can import first material package, and after that we're gonna need a stateless widget. Let's give it a name, and the name will be build bottom area, just like that. Now we can just copy paste or just import these widgets, and that's it. Let's, yeah, like that. Let's save. In our build function, we're gonna return a row, just like that, and this one will have children. Now let's create the widgets that will be sitting here in this row. We're gonna call it custom button, just like this. And here we can create this widget, and let's return a container, just like that. We're gonna give it some decoration, box decoration. The color will be kind of amber 100, and here we're gonna need also some border side, so let's say border. Yeah, we're gonna need some border only at the right side, just like that. And so here the color will be, let's say, gray, excuse me, gray, like that. And the width is going to be only 0.2, like that. Let's save and see. Here we don't see anything because inside of our custom button widget we don't have anything. So in order to see our container, our widgets, all we have to do is to add something. So we're gonna say child icon, and here we're gonna give some icon. Let's say edit, let's give it a color, let's say black. Now we can save, and yeah, it's okay. But as you can see here, it's not that beautiful. So to fix that, we're gonna add first here some padding, some vertical padding. I'm gonna say here padding, let's say symmetric, and we're gonna make it vertical only 15, like that. Let's 70, yeah, like that. And here we're gonna come up here and wrap our entire custom button widgets by an expanded widgets, just like that. Now we can save, and yeah, it's okay. So now all we have to do is to duplicate our custom button inside of our raw widget, and everything will be okay. Let's save and see. Yeah, like that. So guys, as you can see here in our bottom area, we have the same icon for both buttons, and we don't want that. So the way we're gonna do that, the way we're gonna change that actually is by passing to our custom button some parameters. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so let's say here in our custom button, we're gonna say icon data, like that, and we're gonna make it required. So it's going to be mandatory for the user to pass this variable, like that. We're gonna remove these consts, and here let's say icons edit, and here we're gonna say icons. That's deletes, excuse me, like that. Let's have and see. Yeah, it's okay. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video till the end. I really appreciate. So in the following video we're gonna be working on the events of these two buttons here. So the first one, this edit button, will be displaying this edit page where the user can actually edit the post as he wants. And also if the user clicks on this delete button there, this pop-up will be showing up on the screen. Hello guys, thanks for coming back. I'm so happy to be with you again. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm here now. Okay guys, today we're gonna be creating something very simple. So every time the user will be clicking on this delete icon here, this pop-up will be showing up. We're just gonna have this text here, this one also, with these two buttons here below. The first one will be no, and the second one will be yes. So if the user say yes, this post will be actually removed. But if you say no, this pop-up will be just removed from the screen. So the first thing that we're gonna do will be actually to create a file for this alert dialog widget here in the share with widget folder, and we're gonna call it custom alerts dialog widgets.darts, just like this. And here let's import first the material package. It's going to be a stateless widget, custom alerts dialog widgets, just like this. And here in the build function we're gonna return a widget called alerts dialog. This widget have a title, let's say text, delete posts, contents, it's going to be also text widgets, and here let's say, do you really want to delete these posts, just like this. After that we're gonna change the background color, let's say colors white, just like this. And the last widgets will be actually the actions. So the first action widget will be actually an icon button, just like this, and press, let's do just like this. And here we're gonna say text, let's say no, and here we're gonna copy paste this one, and here we're gonna say yes, like this. Let's save. Yeah, it's good. Now we can just use this custom alert dialog widget inside of here. So we're gonna add an event here on this button, so whenever the user clicks here, this pop-up will be shown up on the screen. So guys, to do that we're gonna go back to our build bottom area file and pass another parameter of void callback type here to this custom button. So let's say void callback, this one, it's gonna be nullable. We're gonna call it on top, and here we're gonna wrap this container by a gesture detector widget, just like this, and we're gonna say on top, yeah, this one. And here to this deletes button, let's say on top, and here we're gonna say, we're gonna call a function called show dialog, like this. Yeah, it's heavy context. And here to the builder function, we're gonna say, we're just gonna return now our custom alert dialog widgets. Let's save. And here if we try, to click here, yeah, the pop-up is actually showing up. But when you click here on the no button, it's not going. So to fix that, all we have to do is to open again our dialog widget, and here to the no button we're gonna say navigator of context dot pop, just like this. Let's save and try again. So I click here. When I say no, yeah, the pop-up is going. So let's try again. As you can see here, these two buttons have the same color, so we're gonna change that. We want our yes button to have a different color than the no button. So all we have to do is to come here to the yes button and say style, text style. Let's change the color. It's going to be, let's say, amber, like this. But let's increase. We're gonna say 800. We don't need these counts anymore. Let's 70. Yeah, like this. It works. When you click here and say no, the pop-up is going, and when you click again here, you can see that these two buttons, they don't have the same color. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video till the end. I really appreciate it. I think we are now done with all the UI of this application. Hello guys, thanks for coming back. I'm really happy to be here again with you. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm here now. You know, sometimes in life you have some problems and you have to fix them. So this is what I was doing these last days. So everything is okay now, and I think we can go forward. So guys, as you can see here, we have a list of posts, but now they are still static. They are not dynamic. So this is what we're gonna change for this tutorial series. So we're gonna be taking all of these posts from the server. Yeah, we're not gonna create an API from scratch, but we're gonna be using something that already exists on the web, and we call it JSON placeholder.typicode.com. So this is the API that we're gonna be integrating in our mobile application. And as you can see here, we're gonna just be doing the CRUD operation of this post. So we need the post requests, the get requests, just like this, the get request, excuse me. We're gonna need also the posts for posting a post. So if you have a post, you can create a post in your mobile application and then send it to the server. So for that, we're gonna be using posts, and the puts is the type of requests that we're going to be using for updating or modifying some elements of the posts, and the last one will be the delete request. So guys, before making any API integration, we're going to need a package that we can use for this purpose. Yeah, to make these gates, posts, puts, and delete requests, we're going to need a package that will help us in this to do this, to make this. Yeah, so first you're gonna just open your PubSpec YAML file, and here in the dependencies section, all we have to do is to write this line here, dio with this number, just like this. Very simple. As we have already imported the dio package in our mobile application, we can start using it actually. And the first thing that we're gonna do will be the creation of a file called interceptors. So we're gonna open this data folder here, and inside of this one we'll create another folder called services, and inside of this one we'll create a file. Let's call it interceptors.dart, like this. And here all we have to do is to paste here this class, like this. Okay guys, you know, when it comes to debugging application, that can be helpful if you can know how your data look like when they are being sent to the server. So this is why we have this onRequest function. So every time you're gonna make a post or a put request, this onRequest function will be displaying your body. So how your body look like, all the data that you are sending to the server look like. So this function will be helping us in showing all of those kind of stuff. And also, if there is any response that is coming from the server, you're gonna need to know how this response looks like actually. So this is the place where this onResponse function takes place. So if there is some string in your response, or booleans, or integers, or all that kind of stuff, this onResponse function will be displaying all of them in the console. The last one is the error function. So with this function, the user will be able to see any error that will be coming from the server. So if there is an error, any stack trace, all that kind of stuff will be printed in the console from this error function, just like this, and it's gonna be very, very helpful. So guys, this is what the interceptors class is all about. So all it does is to print all that can happen between the beginning and the end of an API request. That's it. So guys, the other file that we're gonna create is the DIO services file. So we're gonna open again the services folder, and here let's say DIO services dots, like this. Okay, inside of here, let's start with an enum. So let's say HTTP method, and here we're gonna create or define all the methods that we can use in our mobile application. So let's say gates, posts, patch, puts, and delete. Okay, down here we'll create a class, DIO service class, just like this, very simple. And here we'll have a variable of type DIO. Let's say DIO equals DIO, and here let's create a base option where we're gonna have all sort of parameters or settings for our APIs. So let's say receive status data 1, even when status is error. Let's say true. Base URL, we're gonna copy paste it from here. This is the base URL. Let's say like this, and after that connect timeout. Let's now define the timeout time, the connect timeout. Let's say duration, it's gonna be in minutes. Let's say 3. Let's save. And here we're gonna define also the receive timeout, just like this, very simple. And here let's now, our interceptors will go down here. Let's add them here, and here we'll say we're gonna take only the name of this class, the interceptors class, and paste it just there, like this. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, down here we're gonna create a future function that we're gonna be calling every time we wanna make an API request. So let's say future, let's call it request, like this, and it's gonna take some parameters. The first one will be and the type of HTTP method that we wanna use. And here we'll also have the path, let's say string path, and the last one will be data, because if it's a post or a put or a patch, we're gonna have some data for the body. Yeah, it's gonna be dynamic, let's say data, like this. Okay, here we'll have the async keyword like this. We're gonna also have try catch because it's a future, and here let's say response results, and here let's say await the IO, our variable, and here we're gonna say requests. Yeah, the first thing will be the path, and after that we're gonna also have some options just like this. So the method that will be passed from the parameter, let's say to string, and then we can split it, and the separator will be the points. We're gonna take the last item just like this, very simple. The headers will be, let's say, accept application JSON. Let me copy this one. So the second one will be the contents type. Let's make this application, yeah, like this. So the last one will be the data. You know, if it's a post or a put or a patch request, we're gonna need to pass some data for the body. And just here we can now return the results. Let's say return, we're gonna return it as a string JSON. So we'll say JSON encode like this, results data, yeah, like this. And here at the very end of the function, let's say every time we have an exception, let's catch it, we take the error, here we can print it in the console section, exception occurred. Let me correct this. So to fix this error here, it's very simple. So we're gonna come up here, we clear these imports, and here we make sure when we are importing this log, we take the second one. So the second one here, as you can see, it takes a string. So this one here. So make sure you pick the good one. If you pick this one here for the maths, it's not gonna work. So make sure you take this one here that receives a string message, just like this, and the error is gone. Okay guys, let's now generate the models that we're gonna need for our project. And all we have to do is to copy first this link here. You can just open your Chrome on your PC, and here let's copy this, let's paste this link there, and just below here you're gonna see this request here. It's gonna return 100 posts. So it's a GET request, as you can see here. So let me click there. Yeah, as you can see here, we have a bunch of posts that are being displayed. They're coming from the server of this JSON placeholder type code, something like that. Yeah, it's good. So we can now copy only one object here, just like this. Let's copy this and open this website here. It's called JSON to Darts. I'm gonna put the link in the description box below, so don't worry about that. Let me do this, and yeah, let's say posts data model. Let me generate, and yeah, it's okay. As you can see here, we have our model that is being generated from this website. Now we can just copy this class here. You can do this, or you can just click here on this button saying copy Dart code to clipboard. Yeah, let me click there, and after that I'm gonna create a file here in the data folder and then models folder, and inside of here let me create a file that we're gonna call posts data model dot, just like this. And here I'm gonna paste this code. So let me remove all of these keywords everywhere, just like this. And after that I'm gonna generate some other functions. So the first one will be, let me say, post data model from JSON. It's gonna receive a string. Let me see, just like this. It's gonna return just like this. Yeah, it's okay. Now we can just copy this class here. You can do this, or you can just click here on this button saying copy Dart code to clipboard. Yeah, let me click there, and after that I'm gonna create a file here in the data folder and then models folder, and inside of here let me create a file that we're gonna call posts data model dot, just like this. And here I'm gonna paste this code. So let me remove all of these keywords everywhere, just like this. And after that I'm gonna generate some other functions. So the first one will be, let me say, post data model from JSON. It's gonna receive a string. Let me see, just like this. It's gonna return just like this. Yeah, it's okay. So let me create another one for the list of post data model. Let's give it a name, just like this. It's gonna receive a string, just like this. Very simple. And then yeah, we're gonna generate this one from the list of post data model. So let's say from, and here this on the code, we're gonna map them, and here let's just say like this. Let me save. Yeah, it's okay. Okay guys, let's now create the post providers class for this post data. So let's say here posts data providers dart, just like this, and here let's say class post data providers. Yeah, it's okay. And here we're gonna make our function static because we want to be able to access to it without making any initialization of this post data providers class. So let's say here static, it's gonna be a future because these data are coming from the server. It's gonna return a string, let's say get posts. We're gonna need the async keyword because it's gonna be asynchronous, and here let's say final string, let's call it row, like this, and here let's await the results. So now we can use our dio service class, this one, and here let's say requests, very simple. Here we're gonna need the method, so let's say http method http method. It's gonna be a get requests, like this, and here let's add the endpoints. It's gonna be posts because as you can see here, this is the base URL from https to .com, but the last part here is the endpoint. So this part is the one that we have here, just there. And here below, all we have to do is to return this row, actually, just like this. So guys, now we're gonna need a class where we're gonna treat this data after receiving them from the server, and this class will be called post data repositories. So here in the repositories folder, we're gonna create a file. Let's call it posts data repositories .darts. Yeah, very simple. And here let's say class post data repositories. Yeah, it's okay. And here it's gonna be also static because we don't wanna be initializing anything before accessing to it. Let's say static. It's gonna be future also, but it's gonna return a list of post data model. Yeah, like this. Let's call it get posts. Very simple, very easy. It's gonna be also async. We're gonna need this async keyword because it's a future. So let's say final string rows. Okay, posts data report providers, actually, and here let's say get posts. So just below here we can now use our function, the post data list model from JSON. Yeah, rows. Yeah, like this. So guys, what happens here is that we are just converting this data that are coming from the server into a real Dart object, because as you know, these data are coming like, it's a JSON string. So we have to convert this JSON string into a Dart model so our application can be now able to manage it or to handle it very easily. As we have already set up all the process that we need to access to our data that will be coming from the server, we can now work on our qubit actually. And here, so the qubit is inside of our business logic folder, and then here we have these files, these folders, sorry. The first one is block, the other one is the qubit, and here we have this file here. Is just a simple enum where we have all the states that we're gonna need for our class states. So here for the qubit, we're gonna say, so this qubit will be actually for posts data like this, and inside of here we're gonna need two files. So the first one will be posts data state dot sorry, it's not darts but darts, and the first one will be, so the second one, sorry, posts data qubit dot, just like that. Very beautiful. And here in the posts data states, we're gonna import first the quadruple package, this one, and here let's say now class posts data states. It's gonna extend this equatable package. Okay guys, we are using this equatable package because it's gonna make our life easier when it comes to make a comparison between two objects. It's gonna make a comparison between objects, and our state, our qubit, will be changing from those comparison because it's gonna know it was this and now it's like this. Yeah, this is it. So the first variable for our class is this one here, the app states. So we're gonna need to know if the state is in loading state or if it's in success or maybe error, stuff like that. So let's say here it's gonna be nullable. Let's name it state, and here we're gonna need a list of post data model. Yeah, it's gonna be also nullable. Let's say data, and here we're gonna need also the last variable. So if there is any issue, any error, we're gonna send this message just here. Yeah, so we're gonna need a constructor for this, and here let's say they're gonna be required. Let me copy all of this, I don't want to waste your time. And here let's say, so the first one is states, the second one data, and the last one is error message. Yeah, it's okay. Let me save this. So we're gonna need another function. It's gonna be a copy with function. You can name it as you want, but you can name it as you want, but it has to have the same type as the constructor, just like this. And here let's say for me I love to call it copy with. Yeah, like this. Here let me say app states, here let's say the list of post data, a list of posts data model, this one here. Let me paste it there, also nullable. And the last one is this error message variable, just like this. It's okay. And here we're gonna return, yeah, like this. So let me do it like this. So data, first let's take the state. So if this, it's gonna take this state, but if it's null, we're gonna take the state of this current object. Sorry, state. The same thing for data. If it's null, we take the data of the current objects. The same thing for error message. If it's null, we take the error message of the current object. Yeah, just like this. And the last but not least is this. We're gonna override. So if you want, we can just come here and here create one missing override. Yeah, it's gonna create it. Yeah, just like this. So this function is coming from this equatable package. Don't forget that. And don't forget to import it in your project if it's not yet done. So this one. So let's go back here, and here it's gonna be a list. The first one is states, the second data, and error message. We can save, and yeah, it's okay. Let's now work on the post data qubit. So here we're gonna create a class. Let's call it post data qubit. It's gonna extend the qubit just like this, and here we're gonna have our post data states class just like this. Here let's return the Flutter block package, Flutter block, like this. Yeah, it's okay. So here we're gonna have a construction, but here let's say super, like this, and instead of this one we're gonna have our post data state class, and we're gonna initialize our states. So this is the initial states of our qubit, and here let's say state initial. The data, it's gonna be a list of post data model, but it's gonna be empty for now. And here there is no any error message, so we're gonna do it like this. Where is the error? So yeah, let's save now. Okay guys, this is the initial state of our qubit. So first it's gonna be initial, and the data, it's a list but it's empty. And for the error message, because we don't have anyone, it's just gonna be an empty string, just like this. Okay guys, let's now create the function that will be changing the state of our qubit according to how we are getting the data from the server. So it's gonna be a void function because it's not gonna return anything. Let's call it, let me say load. Very simple, like this. It's gonna have the async keyword, and here we're gonna need the try catch, just like this. And by first it's gonna return a state, but here don't forget that we're gonna need this copy with function, and here let's say states. It was, but initially it's in the initial state. So here we're gonna change it. Every time the data will be coming from the server, we're gonna see something like a loading on the screen. And in order to be able to see that, we're gonna change this state by saying here loading. So whenever we are getting the data from the server, it's gonna be in this loading stage. Okay. So after that, we can try to reach our server by saying await post data repositories get posts. Yeah, just like this. Very simple. So if the result is not empty, this means everything works. There is no any issue. So we're just gonna say we're gonna emit another state. Okay, so let's say copy with, and here the state will change. It's gonna be app state success, and data will be the data that will be coming from the server. So let's say results. If there is any issue, it's gonna come here in the catch, but we're gonna need some, if there is any error, or if we have some stack trace of the error. So here let's say just debug print. So this is for debug process. So let's say error and stack trace, just like this. Very simple. And here we're gonna emit another state. So just like this, copy with, we're gonna change this state. It's gonna be error, and now we can push a message here. Let's say an error occurred, just like that. Let's save. Let's do this and save again. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think we are good with this post data qubit class. Everything is good here. I think it's okay. So guys, as you can see here, everything is already done concerning data and state. Everything is already done. So the next step here is actually to implement this logic or this qubit, this state in our presentation. So we're gonna open this post view widgets and turn first this stateless into a stateful widget, just like this. And after that, we're gonna open here the init state, and inside of it, we're gonna use the function from our qubit that will give us the ability to call the data from the server. So let me do it like this. Read, sorry, just like this. And here we're gonna need our post data qubit, just like that. Oh, sorry for that. And here let's call the function. It's this load function, just like that. Yeah, it's okay. So whenever we do it like this, every time the user will be accessing or opening the application, because this is the first view of our mobile application, this function will be triggered. It's gonna be called. So yeah, just like this. And after that, we are not done. We're gonna need a builder here, because Flutter block is working with block builder, block listeners, but here we're gonna need a block builder. So let's wrap this container here by a widget. Block builder is a widget. Let's pick it just here, block builder, and here let's say posts data qubit and post data state, just like this. So here we're gonna make a test. If state is states equals app states loading, we're gonna show something that will be noticed the user that the data are coming from the server. So you need to wait some seconds, some minutes, stuff like that. So let me return here first a small text, a very simple text here. We're gonna change it later. Loading. So guys, one thing that I would like you to never forget when you're using Flutter block is the block provider. So if you don't call this, or if you don't use this block provider inside of your application when you're using Flutter block, your application is gonna crash. It's gonna crash because it's not gonna get the initialization or the instance of your qubit or your block. So make sure you add it just here. So for me, or for this application, we're gonna have too many blocks or too many qubits. This is the reason why we're gonna use here a multi block provider like this. The child will be the material, and here the providers will be many providers. So here we can inject our block providers. So let's say block provider, this one here. Let me remove this. Here let's say post data qubits, just like this. So guys, let's now test and see if everything works as expected. So let me restart the application and see. Okay, loading, and then so let me see if the data are actually, yeah, it's good. As you can see here, we have all the posts. These posts here are coming from the server. So all we have to do now is to replace everything here, to put here the real title, and here below the real body, and to put a very beautiful loading widget. Yeah, we're gonna change this. So first, let's remove this here. We remove it, and after that we're gonna add this variable here. So let's say here if state equals loading, if the application is in the loading stage, you're gonna return a centered widget. In the other case, we're gonna have that single child scroll view that have all the data. So inside of here, we're gonna have a child, and here let's say lottie. Don't forget that we have a lottie in our asset files, in our asset folders. Don't forget that. because we have done that at the very beginning of the application. So here in our assets, we have assets, images, and here we have our loading lottie here. And don't forget also to add that to your pubspec YAML file here. So as you can see here, we have assets. So everything that is in the images folders will be accessible to our application. So let me see if everything is good. Images, yeah, loading.json is there. So let's move forward. Here, let's say the name will be so assets, images, and then loading.json. Let's remove this const here because it's not a const anymore. Just like this. Let's restart the application and see. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Let me restart again. Yeah, it's not taking so long because my connection is very fast, but I can try to make it very low here and see if, yeah, let me say here, wait, something like future delayed duration, let's say seconds, 3 seconds. Let's say, let me restart the application and see. Yeah, as you can see, we have our loading widget there. Okay, it's good. Let me comment out this and go back to our post view interface, and yeah, everything works. Okay guys, now we're going to be integrating the API of the creation of the post, and so it's gonna be very simple. First, the user will be clicking on this icon here, this add button, just here at the top of the interface, and after that this interface will be showing up, so the user can now type the title of the post. Let's write something like post title, and after that he can also add a body for his posts. Let's say posts body, post body, and here by the end you can just click now on this save post button here, so that this post can actually be sent to the server. Okay, let's do it. So the first thing that we're going to need for this post data creation will be actually a provider. So we don't want to waste our time, so we're gonna only copy this one and change the stuff that we need to change. So let's change here. We're gonna write create posts, and here it's gonna stay the same, but here it's gonna be a post request, and here in the create posts function we're gonna need some parameters. These parameters will be post data model, so data like this, and as it's a post we want to send data to the server. I'm gonna say data to JSON. We're gonna need also a repository function, so this is the reason why we're gonna open up our post data repository class, and here we're gonna add another function, but we're just gonna copy paste it, and here let's change, it's gonna be create posts. Here it's gonna be, we're gonna have some parameters, the body of our post actually. So let's say post data model and data like this, and here it's gonna be, but not get, but create posts, and our data will be passed there. So here it's not gonna return a list of posts after creation, but it's just gonna return an object of type post data model. So here, let's take the function that we're gonna need for that. It's gonna be this one, because we're not gonna return a list of posts but only an object. So let's pick up this function. You know guys, the most important thing here is not to memorize the code but to know actually what is the logic. This is the reason why I'm copying, because I don't want to waste our time on writing things that we already have in our code. Let's now create the qubit of the creation of the post. So the way we're going to do that is actually simple. We're going to open up again this qubit folder, and here we're going to need another folder that we're going to call create posts, like this. And inside of this folder we're going to need two files. The first one will be create posts state.dart, and the second one will be create posts qubit.dart. So here in our create post state class, it's gonna be very similar to the state class that we've done so far. So this one here. So as you can see, we're gonna have a state, data, objects, error message, so all that kind of stuff. So instead of writing again all of this stuff, we're just gonna be copying this, and after that we'll just paste it here in this state class here, so that I can explain everything step by step. So this one is a create posts data states, yeah, like this. So we're just gonna copy this name here, we're just gonna paste it everywhere, like this, yeah, it's okay. And for the data, we're not gonna return a list of posts, so it's just gonna be a single post, like this. So here we're gonna do the same thing. Let's change this. Don't forget to add this question mark because it can be null. Everything is okay, we're done. So we have the states, we have the data, we have the error message. Here we have our constructor, and everything is required. As you can see here, with this copy with function, we can be able to change some data of our object without changing everything in our objects actually for this state here. The other thing that we're gonna do will be the create post qubit, this one here, and we're gonna do the same thing actually. So let's come down here and take everything from this class, and we're just gonna copy all of them here in this one, and then change some stuff like this one here. It's gonna be create post data qubit, yeah. Let's paste it everywhere just like this, and after that this one will be create post states, yeah, this one here. And here it's not a list of posts, but instead it's just a single object, yeah. We're gonna remove this const here and try to save. It's not working, so yeah, I know why. It's gonna extend this state class like this. So let me save. Okay, let's keep on changing stuff here. This one here will not be load anymore. It's gonna be create posts, and here let's say create posts like this, yeah. So let me explain this. This is the create post function. First we're gonna emit our loading states. So when the user click on the save post button, the loading animation will be displayed to the user, so the user can know that his post is actually being sent to the user. So this is why we have these, we are emitting these loading states, and after that we go to our repository and try to create the post actually. So here we're gonna pass some parameters, posts data model, sorry, this one here, and after that we're gonna say here data like this. Okay, here we can just remove this one here and then copy it like this. We don't need this delayed, let's remove it, and after that, yeah, everything is okay. So as you can see, this function is very clear, everything is very clear here. So here we emit first our loading state, here we go to the server in order to create these posts, and after that when we have our response, we just take that response and put it inside of our state, our state class, and changing also the states. It's going to be success, and if there is any error, the state will change to error, so the state will be error state, and here the message, this message is the one that will be sent to the user on the UI. So this is it. Okay guys, as you can see here, we have already created our create post data qubit, but in order to be able to use it, we're gonna go back to our main.dal file, and here in the multi-block provider we're gonna add it just here below. Let's say create post data qubits. Let's pick this one, and yeah, it's okay. Okay guys, so far so good, but we are still not yet done. And so here we're gonna implement now the update post functionality, and the first thing that we're gonna do will be actually to open our post data provider, and here we're just gonna copy paste this code here, and here we're gonna change, instead of create, it's gonna be update post, and here instead of post, let's say put, just like that. And for this provider, we are good. After that, we're gonna open our repository, and inside of here we're gonna duplicate this code here, and yeah, we already have the update function. So here, instead of saying create post, we just gonna write update post, just like that. Beautiful. And after that, the other thing that we're gonna do now will be actually the creation of our qubit, so the place where our logic will be sitting. So here, let's create a folder. So new folder, let's call it update posts, just like that. And here, instead of wasting our time on typing this again and again, we're just gonna copy these two classes and paste them here into update. So let's do this, and after that we're just gonna change the name of these classes. So this one will be now updates data states, or let's say updates posts, like that. So let's come inside, let's close other files, and this one will no longer be post data state, but it's gonna be updates post data state, just like that. And it's not going to return a list, but it will just return an object of type post data model, like that. And here also we're gonna change just like this. Let's make it nullable, and yeah, we're good to go. And after that, we're just gonna open our post data qubit, and here instead of just post data qubit, it's now gonna be update post data qubit, just like that. And here also we're gonna change, so let's make it update post state, like that. And here it's no longer be initially a list, but let's give it a null value, just like that. And here we no longer fetch data from the server, but instead we are going to create, so we are going to update, sorry. So here let's change this and write update, and here the first thing we're going to emit a state, a loading state, and after emitting that loading state we are going to call this function so that we can update our post. So let's write update post. So this will receive some data, so let's pass a variable here of type post data model, like that, sorry. And after that we're just gonna pass down that data. Let me remove this delayed functionality, and here let's just emit a new state of success, just like that. And here if there is any issue we're just gonna emit a state of type error, just like that. Beautiful. Let's remove this function because we don't need it here. And right now we are okay, but we are not yet done with this, because we want every time the user will actually update a post, we want this post to be actually updated directly into the list that we have, without the user to be to have to refresh the list in order to see the updates. So we just want this new data that is being updated to be also updated on the list directly. And the way we're going to achieve that is by going back to our post data qubit. Here we already have a add, but here we're gonna also add another one that will be update. It's gonna be update, like that. And here, yeah, we're gonna need this list, and instead of insert, we're gonna do something different. So here, because we are going to need to update the existing post by a new one, we are going first to find the index of this post and then replace it or update it with a new one. So here we already have our list, and so to find the index we're just gonna write final index. It's a variable, and here we're gonna find it by doing, we take our list and we say index of, so this list where elements its ID equals to the ID of the post that is being passed by the user. And here we're gonna just take the first element, just like that. And after that we're just going to replace this index. We're just going to replace the post that is on this index by this new one. So all we have to do is to right now update the list on this index. We're just going to put the new one, just like this, and yeah, we're good to go. Now let's open again our main file, and here we're just gonna duplicate this code here, duplicate, and here let's add this new created post, updated post qubit, this one. Okay, beautiful. So after that, let's go back to our edit post view. Let me close the other files, close others, and here because we are just creating a post, but here we're gonna need also to use this same interface to update the post. And the way we're gonna achieve that is pretty much very simple. All we have to do is first to pass here some data, because when you come on this interface here, there is no data that can notice the user, or you cannot know if the user is actually updating or creating. And in order to know that, we're just going to pass here a variable called post data, called data of type post data model. And here we're gonna make it required, so it's mandatory to pass it. And here let's say data, like that. So I think we are okay. But after that, we are going to create another function. Here we only have the create post function, so let's duplicate this code here. We don't waste our time on retyping all of this. So here we're just gonna change this, and it's gonna be update posts. And here the only thing that's going to change is actually the ID, because we're updating. So we're gonna need the ID to update the existing post. So here the title, so we're gonna take the title of the controller, the body of the controller, the same thing for the user ID, but here for the ID of the post, we're going to use the ID of the existing post. So we are in a stateful widget, so let's say widget data and then ID, just like that. And here instead of create, it's gonna be now update. So update posts data qubit, the function is update, just like that. And here now, because we want to fill all of these controllers when the user comes to this interface here, if there is some data. So if there is data, we are going to fill the title controller and the body controller. So if there is no data, it means the user is just creating the post. So in our init state here, we're just gonna put a condition here. So if our data are not, if our variable is not null, then we can fill our data. So widget data, like that. But here it's saying something like the operand can be null. Yeah, it's correct. So here we have to fix this issue. We have to fix this issue, because this is the edit posts view. So when the user is creating a post, he's not going to pass any data, because he's creating a new one. But if the user is updating the post, there we're gonna need some data, because we need to update an existing post. Okay, so this is the reason why we're gonna change this variable, the type of it, and instead of making it required, it's gonna be instead a nullable variable, just like that. And here, as you can see here, we are just going to put a question mark for null safety, just like that. Beautiful. So here I think we can now test this function, and yeah, we're good for everything is okay. So here we are just going to put another condition. If there is some data from the user, it means the user is trying to update a post. If there is no data, it means the user is actually just creating a new post. So here we're gonna put a condition: if widget data is not null, it means the user is updating. So update post. But if this variable is null, it means the user is just creating a new post. Let me format. Yeah, beautiful, like that. I think it's okay. So guys, as you can see here, this loading state of our button is only depending on the creation of the post, but we don't want it to be like that. We want also this loading state of this button to also depend on the update of the post. So if you are creating the post, the user will see this loading text, and if in the other way we are just updating the post, we also need we also want our user to see this loading text. Yeah, so here we're gonna add our block builder, another block builder actually, so on top of the existing one, and it's gonna be update. Sorry, update boost qubit, and here update post state, this one. So this one, let's change it. It's gonna be update state, just like that. And here, if the state is loading or the update state is also loading, it means we are going to show to the user this text here, loading. Okay, beautiful. I think we are good to go and to test this functionality if it actually works. So we are going to see if when the user clicks on this button here, we update an existing post, and we also see this loading text when the post is actually being updated. I just run the application so that we can try to test if the update post works fine. So I'm gonna click on one post here, the first one, and we are here on this detail page of the post. We can see some informations about the post, and here down we have two buttons. The first one is this button here to edit, and the second one is a button to delete. So here for delete, you can see that we have this model, but here for edit, it's not doing anything and it's not going anywhere. So I think we forgot something, and to correct that, we are just going to open our detail page. Now this detail widget will receive a variable of type post data model, just like this, and we're gonna make it required, just like this here. So here, as you can see, we now have an issue in the posts view. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna remove these consts, and then data, just like that. Beautiful. And here we are going now to make use of this data. So here also we are going to need, but first, so for the title here, let's remove these, and here we're gonna take the first character, like that. It's nullable, just like that. And here for the title, we have an issue, so let's relaunch the application. We click on one post, and yeah, beautiful, it works. Now every time we click on a post, we can see its details. Beautiful. On this interface, we want also the user to be able to go back when he clicks on this button here. So to achieve that, we just have to scroll up, and here on this icon, let's make it an icon button, just like that. And here, let's say navigator of context dot pop, like that, and this one will be now our icon. So let's save this. Oh, sorry. Let's save, and once we click here we can go back, but let's decrease this space here. So here, instead of symmetric, we're gonna say only. This will be to the right, to the left let's give only 5, and top and bottom 10 10, just like this. Let's see the result. Yeah, beautiful. We can stay like that. So let's click on it. Yeah, it works. So the other thing that we'll do will be actually to scroll down here, and to our variable here, we're gonna, to these widgets, we're gonna pass a variable of type. So it's gonna be the same thing as our detail page, like this, and here we're gonna make it required this data. Let's import this variable, put a comma here, beautiful. And after that we are going to send this data on the edit page, because we know that the user is actually editing. So here it's mandatory. Let's remove first this const, and here we're gonna say data like that. We open these widgets, and here to this button, it's on tab. When you tap on this edit button here, this one here down, we are going to be we are going to open now the edit page, but with post data model. So we're gonna say navigator context push that's your page roots, and here, so let's now open edit post view, and here we're gonna pass our data like that. Let's save. So after that we can try this. So we're gonna open this second post and click on this button here, and as you can see we have all our fields, our text fields are filled with this data. So let me close this one, come back, let me scroll down and take this one. When we click here, yeah, you can see that we have the data of that post on this interface here. So let's try to modify here something. We're gonna date, say here at the very beginning, let's put 222 and try to save. So it seems like let's test if it works. Seems like it's not working, but we're gonna figure out what is the problem. I just realized that we forgot something in the provider just here. So as you can see here, we are trying to update a post, but we are not passing any ID of the post, even though we have already this variable here. So the way we're gonna fix that is actually by adding here, by passing the ID of the post here. So here we're gonna say data.id, just like that, and I think we'll be good to go. But we are still not yet done, because we want to have a listener just here, because we are only listening to the create post data qubit, but we also want to listen to the update post data qubit. So here, instead of block listener, we're gonna have now a multi-block listener, this one, and we're just gonna copy paste this listener here. Then for the block, it's gonna be update post data qubit, and for the state, update post state, just like that. And here, instead of adding the post, we are going to update it, just like that. and instead of popping just once, we're going to pop 2 times. Beautiful. Now let's run this and test to see if it works. Now let's click on one post. The first one, we click on edit. Let's change this title here. So 333. Yeah, beautiful. It works. And this one here, we're gonna edit it. So here, let's write 0 4 times. For the body, let's put some text here, 555, and then save the post. And yeah, beautiful. As you can see here, it works. We have 555 and 000. So guys, we can already display the post, create the post, and also update the post. But now we are now going to implement the delete post functionality. And the first thing that we're gonna do will be actually to go back to our provider file. So I'm gonna write provider just here, and this functionality as well is gonna be very similar to the others. So instead of wasting our time to retap all of these, we're just gonna copy paste this one here and modify it. So this one now will be delete post. Oops, delete post, and of course we're gonna receive a variable of type data post model, and here we're gonna also pass an ID of the post, and instead of puts we're gonna write delete because we are deleting the post. Okay, and we're not gonna need this data here because we're just deleting the post. Okay, so this one is done. Let's open the repository, and for the repository we're just gonna copy paste this one here. Sorry, we copy paste it, and here we're gonna change. Let's write delete post, and instead of update here we're just gonna use the delete post function, just like that. Beautiful. And after that we're gonna create the qubit for this, and the qubit for this also is gonna be very similar to the others. So let's copy this one, the update post qubit. Let's paste it here, and instead of update post copy, let's modify it. It's gonna be now, instead of updates, let's say delete posts, just like that. And we're gonna open it, and here let me increase this, and instead of post data qubit, let's make it delete posts. This one here will be delete post state. So let's open it, and instead of update, let's make it delete. You know, this is how people used to work when we are coding. So we don't create things again and again. So if you already you've already done something, you can just reuse it on the same place, on another place, instead of recreating it from scratch. So here, yeah, I'm gonna have all of this. Yeah, I think it's okay. We don't have anything to change here anymore. I think we are done with this, and we're just gonna open also the delete post qubit file, and here we're gonna update it. So let's write delete post data qubit, and this one here will be also updated. So let's write delete posts state, actually. Beautiful. Here instead of updates, let's write delete, and here instead of updates, it's gonna be delete posts. Beautiful. You have to make sure every time you work with block, you don't forget to go back to your main file and make sure you have all the qubits and block that you need for your app here in these providers section. So here we're gonna write delete post qubit, this one. Beautiful. And after that, I think we are good to go. So now maybe we can try to test our application, but first let's go back to edit post view, and maybe not this one, but the detail page. And in the bottom area, when we open our dialog to delete the post, we have to make sure that let's make sure that we've already implemented our block builder. So it seems like there is no block builder here, so here we're gonna add our block builder so that we can test if the state is in loading or initial or what when we are deleting the post. So if it's deleting the post, we are going to show a small circle progress bar. So let's wrap it into a block builder, and here let's say delete post data qubit. This one will be the state. Let's import the block builder. Console space, we import it. Beautiful. And now here we're gonna test. So if so state is if is loading, maybe not like this, but instead of changing only the text, let's change the entire widget. So if you are in the loading state like this, we're gonna return cycle progress indicator like that, and else now we're gonna return our button just like this. So when we are deleting the post, we want to see this cycle progress indicator, and when we are not in the loading state, we're just going to display our yes button here. And after that, we're gonna also need a block listener here so that we can pop up this interface whenever the delete functionality is success. So let's say here block listener. So whenever our block is in the success state, we're just gonna pop up. We're just gonna pop this interface and go back. So let's say here, just gonna copy this, the qubit and the states both, and here we're just gonna test if state success. Oops, we're just gonna like that, and here let's say now navigator context, poop, and pop again. That's like beautiful. So I think we should run the application and test again if it works. But we are I just forgot something here on the yes button. We need to, so when the user clicks here, we need to call our delete post qubit. So let's write here read delete post qubit, and here just want to say delete and pass our data. We should have our data, not yet, so we're gonna pass it here. Post data model data, it should be required this data like that. Let me fix. Required, yeah, like that. I think we are good with this, and let's go back to our bottom area, remove this const first and pass our data. Yeah, we should pass now our data right here, just like that. I think we are ready. Before we can test this, let's add another function in the post qubit. So here we need to add another function that will give us the ability to remove directly the post that will be deleted. So whenever the post was actually deleted with success, so if the post was successfully deleted, we can just remove it from the list. And the way we're going to achieve that is by creating another function here. Let's call it delete posts, and yet it's going to receive a data variable of type post data model so that we can take the updated list. So let me just copy paste this so that we can move fast. And after that, I'm just gonna remove word, this post.id is the same with this one, like that. And after that, we're just gonna emit a new state with this updated list, just like that. And after that, we're just gonna go back to our bottom area, and inside of our listener, so let me in the post data detail, the bottom area, let me find our delete button. Yeah, here it is. And here we are opening this alert dialog. So let me open it, and here on the yes button, so when here we are deleting the post, okay, but here in our listener, let me see if we already have a listener. Yes, we do have a listener here. So whenever it's success, we're just gonna remove it from the list. So here read post data cube, sorry, post data qubit, and here delete post data, like that. Beautiful. With this, it's gonna work fine. So now we can try this. Okay guys, now let's try if the delete functionality works very fine. So let's click on one post here, this one. After that, let's try to delete this one here. Let's say yes. Yeah, it works. Okay guys, now I'm going to implement the search functionality, which is going to be the last part of this application. And the first thing that we're going to do will be actually to go back to our post data qubit. So let's write post data qubit, just like this. And here in this post data, I'm going to first open the post data state. So here we can create another variable, the variable that will receive all the data from which we're going to search. So here let's write searched post, just like that. And here I'm gonna duplicate this variable here and write just searched post, just like that. And here again I'm gonna duplicate this variable. So here I'm gonna just grab this same name, paste it there. Yeah, we're good to go. And here I'm going again to duplicate this code, this line of code, and here I'm gonna write searched post again, and searched post, like that. And here do not forget to put here that variable, because if you don't put it here, it will not reflect the changes every time the user will be updating or doing wherever. So if you want to see changes every time your state change, you have to put your variable here in this array, just like that. And after that, so let's go back to our qubit, just here. Let me close this first, and here I'm gonna initialize those variable. So the searched post, let me initialize it with an empty array, just like that. Beautiful. So here we just gonna scroll down, and we want actually to take all the data that are coming from the server and affect them into the searched post list, just like this. So this is the list from which we are going to be filtering. So whenever the user is typing something in the search field, we want to filter these searched posts based on this one here, just like that. And so I think we are good with this, but we are actually not yet done. So we are going to create another function, filter list, like that, and it's gonna receive a variable of type string. Let's call it value, like that. And here we're gonna have another variable of so this searched list actually, and let's call it filtered searched list, like that. And here let's take it from the state two lists, like that. And after that, now we're gonna just put a condition here. So if this value is not empty actually, so because we don't want to try to filter this list when the value passed by the user is actually empty. Okay, so here we are just putting this condition here saying if this value is not actually empty, now we can filter our list. So our filtered searched list will receive a new list, and this new list will be actually filtered based on this value that will be passed by the user. Okay, it will be filtered based on both this value and the data list that already exists. Okay, so it's gonna make sense in just a few minutes. And the way we're gonna achieve that is actually simple. First, we're gonna say state. We take the list that already exists, the list of our posts, and we're gonna say where e dot title lowercase contains the value passed by the user, lowercase. Okay, and here we're gonna say just two lists, semicolon. It's gonna be nullable, and here as well. Beautiful. And after that, I think we are good to go. So here we can emit a new state, copy with, search it will be this new filtered. Let me copy paste it. I'm too lazy. Just like that. Okay, so I think it makes sense now. So here first we are creating a variable that will receive first the searched posts, and after that we're gonna put a condition here first to make sure this value is not empty, so that we can now affect a new list in this filtered list based on the list that already exists. So the list of our posts, but we're gonna we are not just going to affect it directly, but we're gonna just affect the list of elements that fulfill this condition here. So all the posts that have a title that is a way similar to the value that will be passed by the user, so the list that will be returned here will be affected to this filtered search list here, and this is the new list that will be sent to the UI so that the user can see the changes. Okay, so let's open our search view interface, and we're just gonna come down here. Here we already have our list, so we're gonna wrap it with a block builder, So let's look for block builder, this one here. Okay, let me import it first, and here we're gonna say post data qubit, and so post data state, like that, and yeah, it's okay. So here now, instead of writing here 50, we're gonna change that by putting here the length of our filtered list actually. So we're gonna say state searched post length, like that. Beautiful. And here we're gonna pass here one post item in this widget here. So let's say this and index, like that. So now we can create this variable. Let's open these widgets, and we're gonna say post data model data, like that. And here, instead of writing search result, we're gonna display the title of the post that will be actually returned whenever the user is typing. Okay, so data title, it's no longer a const, so we're gonna remove that and save, just like that. As you can see here, we're good to go, but we are not yet done, because we want to call our function, the filter function. So we're gonna scroll up, and here in our text from field, we're gonna say on change, oops, on change, sorry. So let's read, I'm gonna call post data qubit, and here let's call our function filter and pass the value. I don't understand why here we get this error. Let me first okay, let me do on change. Okay, beautiful. Let me save. Yeah, I think we are good to go. So here we are passing our function to filter the lists, and here we have already implemented the block builder. So I think it's gonna work very fine. So let's try it out. Okay, now let's restart the application and see if it works. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, we have the list of our posts. Now let's open this search interface. Now you can see that we have too many titles of our posts here on this interface. Now let's try to search something. So here I'm gonna write lorem, and as you can see, it's searching very fine. Yeah, it works. Beautiful. Okay, let me try to click here on this back button. It's not working, so let's implement that very quickly. Here we're gonna say navigator of contexts, the pop, just like that. Let's reload, and then click here. Yeah, beautiful. It works very fine. So let's try the whole application and see if everything works as expected. First, we can see if the posts are loading fine. So let's restart the application. Yeah, the loading functionality, it's okay with that. Let's try to edit a post. So I'm gonna click to one of the posts, so this one here, then I'm gonna click here, and after that I'm gonna update. Let me try to write 777. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna save. Yeah, it's okay. I just edited this post. Let me try to create title 000 Cito 000. Let me try to save the post. Yeah, it works as well. After that, I'm gonna try to delete. Let me delete this post. So I'm gonna click here. You really wanna delete? If I say no, it's not gonna delete. So if I say yes instead, yeah, done. After that, I'm gonna try to search. Here, let me try to search Kie Eske. Kie, yeah, this is it. Beautiful. So if you want now, you can just implement it so when we click on it, it's gonna redirect you to the detail page, and you can edit and yeah, stuff like that. So guys, thanks for making it so far. I really appreciate it. I know it's been quite a long journey, but we've done it, and we've done it together, me and you. So don't forget to leave a comment, don't forget to like the video if you like it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Peace and God bless.